I've given up my corporatized Western strawman a long time ago. I've walked away from that, and I've made it clear to the system of many years ago that I now stand in my sovereign capacity because I do not want to be a part of the fraud. The power is in the people. It's not in these fictitious corporate politicians. It's not in these corporate agents who are upholding this fraud. It's in the people. And when the people unite and the people stand and the people rebel under lawful rebellion, and we don't consent, and we stand together to make a way forward, that's the only way forward. And we as the sovereigns have the only lawful standing on this country. This is all breaching not just common law, not just universal law, but it's breaching our law, and our law stands as the only true law that has any validity here. The Crown left in 73. They're operating under statute. Common law cannot override a military statute law. But guess what can? When the sovereign returns, the belligerent must stand down. With those elders, we attended the Darwin military base. We held a ceremony there. They wouldn't let us go inside onto a men's ceremony area. So we did it at the front gate in front of the military base. And we read out a statement, and that statement was to advise the world, to advise all military, and to advise all military on the world and all sovereigns on the planet that the sovereigns have returned, and we formally stand down the belligerent occupier. King Munyu attended a ceremony close to 70 years ago with Queen Elizabeth, not long after she was inaugurated. She was only very young. In that private ceremony, when royalty meet people, if they leave the glove on, you're lesser. If they take one glove off, you're equal. And if they take two gloves off, you are the superior sovereign. He had a private ceremony with her when she was young. In that ceremony, she took off both gloves. In that ceremony, she gifted him King Charles' sword, which was handed to her from her grandfather. And when she handed him that sword, she uttered words to the effect of, "Unite your people and take it all back, it's all yours." So we produced that sword in the ceremony when we stood down the belligerent occupier, and we called upon all the peacekeepers of the planet to come forward to assist not just the tribal people, but the Australian people, to stand down the belligerent occupier and help us bring peace and harmony back to these lands and across this planet. In 232 years, the government and this corporation, and even when it was the Crown, has never had the tribal people's interest at heart in front of anyone else ever. If you want to disconnect the people from the land, the first thing you do is you take away their song, dance and ceremony. Now the elders hold our song, dance and ceremony. If you go into any native title fight in court, the first thing that they ask is, do you know the song, dance and ceremony for that area? And when you can't answer that, you don't have any claim to that area. We are all being governed by a fictitious corporate body that is impersonating a government whose agents are committing crimes against the Constitution and the Crimes Act, and we've equated all those crimes, and without the injury, harm and loss being calculated, every corporate agent is looking at 29 years imprisonment for the crimes that they're breaking. What they're doing here is fraud. What they're doing here is treason. What they're doing here is a criminal act on every level. We were always made to feel complacent. We were always made to feel the lucky country. We were always made to feel that everything's all right here. Come to Australia, it's a great place. What we didn't realize is they were always setting us up with that complacency to just accept everything that they wanted to roll out and show the rest of the world that this is how it's going to be for you too. Australians are probably the easiest going, luckiest going people on the planet. Yeah, mate, it's all right. Let's just get on with it. It's okay. You know, don't worry about it. Like, that's Australia. Like, everyone's pretty laid back, and the average Australian person of every culture and race are beautiful people. The sovereigns are standing forward to say, like, this is against our law to harm us. It's against our law to harm the Australian people, and under our law, we are standing down this belligerent corporate occupier. No government on the planet, no corporation, no ecclesiastical body, and no foreign sovereign can legitimize a government here. The only people that can legitimize a government here are the sovereign tribal people. We are not interested in moving or working with a foreign corporate power that is sucking the wealth out of this country and leaving us all destitute and in poverty and taxing us so that every Australian person can barely even breathe. Can you imagine the type of nation we would build if we were putting the wealth back into our people, not the central bankers, not these corporate elites, not 60 people who own 80% of the world's wealth? I cannot leave this world knowing that we are leaving our children to a cesspool of parasitic sickness and knowing that I did nothing. And that's why I'm in this fight, brother, because as the ancestors, it is our responsibility to stand up for our future ancestors. And I once read a long time ago that a country is not a nation until its people are walking in unison. And this is our chance. They've had to slap us in the face. They've woken up easygoing, laid back Aussie, and they bought out the warriors that they probably going to regret that they bought out. And that's every Australian man out there that will stand up and fight and die for his family. And I, along with you, with every other man out there and every other woman out there that will do the same, will not lie down for our babies against this corporate genocide and this corporate thuggery and this fraudulent and treasonous acts against us, the people. Please join with us and walk with us, the sovereigns. And in unity, we can clean this out, shut down this corporate body, put in place a legitimate government and bring back peace, harmony and balance to this country. We've been divided. We've been divided by race, by status, by culture, by religion, by sport, by everything, politics. We've been divided in every single aspect of our existence, and what they're doing to us now and what they've brought upon us is forcing us into a point of unity. And this is the time that we bring it together. This is the time that we walk together. I'm very proud and honoured to be alive in this time to actually stand with honourable people around this country and try and create that unity amongst us all. The Pope said in 2017, the only hope for the planet is Indigenous sovereignty. And the reason he said that is because the sovereigns are the only ones that don't have any corporate contract, any treaty or any agreement with this corporate entity. So we as the sovereign tribal people of this land are free. The only enslavement and trap is in our mind. We are free to do as we need on our land because we are sovereign. They don't have any contract or agreement. And what we are doing is we're saying, well, we're walking away, but we're putting our hand out and we're asking the Australian people, walk with us. Let's walk away. The only thing that upholds this corporate beast is our human time, our hours. That's the true value. The true value is not their fiat currency, because that's dead. This whole thing is about the financial crash. This pandemic is nothing but a smokescreen for the financial crash. The Australian government has probably one of the best government systems on the planet. We have probably one of the best, tidiest policy and procedures. But what we have is filthy management that don't follow the rules. That structure belongs to the people. We take the structure, we take the government, we walk away from this corporate body, and we hold them accountable. This is the problem that they've got. All these corporate agents are personally and vicariously liable. Under the Nuremberg trials, they cannot say they were following orders. Under the Yamashita standard, they cannot say that they didn't give that order. And under the Rome statute, they cannot plead ignorance. This region has bondholders, and what we know is those bondholders are not insured. So when we, the people, start to take out private prosecutions and commercial liens against these corporate agents and political agents who are committing fraud and treason against us, guess what? The whole world is moving to resource-backed currencies. The fiat currency system is dead. All fiat currency systems have a 32-year lifespan. This one's currently at 68 years. It's gone way past its rebuild date, and the crash is going to be very horrible over the next 3 months. We as a sovereign tribal people can afford to the Australian people our own sovereign currency based on our resource base, establishing a currency base that we can run this country into the future comfortably while we set up very healthy industries that complement the land, very healthy industries that look after the land, and very healthy industries that create prosperity for all 25 million Australian people. But here's the beauty. By setting up good, healthy, prosperous industries like hemp, like medical marijuana, like organic food, We ensure that your great grandkids and my great grandkids drink good water, breathe good air, and eat good food. And that's our responsibility.